level class of Pilates just to get my body moving, and it feels so relaxing. I think the hardest tip that I have, staying away from social media for a little bit. This one's really tricky for me, especially because my job revolves around social media, but it's played such a toxic role in my life that I've needed to take a step back. And I haven't completely stopped, but I'm not checking my DMs so much. I'm not sitting on my phone anxiously checking all my replies. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. So what do you do when you're feeling sad? Let me know. Okay, so now getting into the video, I want to talk about my experience, kind of getting to the lowest point that I've ever been in my life. Basically, in November, my dog got diagnosed with terminal cancer. She's only 3 years old, and there's nothing that I can do to save her. She's going through chemotherapy, but her life expectancy is about a year or less. Now, my best friend and my boyfriend were helping me take care of her. I was really just spending the money. They would take her to the appointments, and they would feed her the special keto diet. In December, right before Christmas, I remember I was on my plane, and I got in an argument with my best friend, and currently, we are not best friends anymore. I don't have a lot of friends. I really, truly don't, especially out here in LA, the land of acquaintances and fake friends and social media friends. This was like a real friend that I lost. Literally 2 weeks after that, on New Year's Eve, my boyfriend and I had been having some issues and we broke up again. This was the second time we broke up, and I really took it so hard the second time. I remember the first time I thought I got cheated on, and I took it to social media pretty much, and I said some things publicly that I felt justified in saying. The second time we broke up, he made everything public, and it was like, I guess too much for me to handle, because I would be getting DMs from not only my friends, but just random strangers on the internet who have a say in my life and who's right or who's wrong or what I should do. It was like waking up every morning and getting this sense of panic and doom fall over me as I frantically pick up my phone, and my heart is racing and my stomach is churning, and I had such bad stomach problems. It was horrific. And I would check my phone and I would update my social media, and I would update it and update it, and I would look at my messages and I would look at what he was posting, and it just fucking crushed me. Like, even if nothing happened, just the process of checking so frantically and seeing like who's saying what about me now, that I became obsessed with checking, and that fucking ruined me. Like, I was so stressed out I was throwing up. I take full responsibility for this. You know, me checking and checking and checking and making myself unhealthy when I knew that I was on the edge, and all it probably took was one wrong post or one wrong comment, you know, for me to do something stupid. I was feeling so unstable and so unhappy. I wanted to get consistent help. Like, I didn't want to see a therapist every week or get new medication every month. I didn't have time for that. So I wanted to go into a hospital and get evaluated for psychiatric care so that I would be stuck in a hospital for a couple days or a couple weeks or whatever. And they would hopefully, you know, talk to me every single day and give me lots of attention and make sure that I'm not hurting myself and make sure that I'm getting the medication that's effective and making sure I'm better before I go back into the real world and I'm able to check my phone again. Like, I wanted to be in a different mindset. Little did I know, these hospitals are fucking nuts. And I tried to do my research to make sure that I picked a good one, and I ended up picking UCLA. UCLA is ranked the top hospital in California and number 6 in the nation. Okay, so here's how it went down. I basically called my therapist and I told her, you know, I'm thinking about checking myself into a psychiatric hospital. And she made phone calls for me, which was really helpful. Like, just asking for help. Like, I only ever saw my therapist once a week. I never texted her. I never bothered her. But just how much she was willing to be there for me outside of our appointments, it was like really eye-opening. Like, I do have a real support system. On the way to the hospital, I met with my therapist and we talked for a minute. I signed some release forms for her to speak to people for me so that I wouldn't have to talk to everyone myself. I didn't want to let people know that I was going into a hospital, so she kind of made those phone calls for me, which was like fucking amazing of her. She met me at a Starbucks. So after I talked to my therapist, I headed straight to the hospital. It was really strange. My therapist was explaining to me where to go because she had made phone calls and made sure what I should do previously. But she said to go straight to the ER where, you know, everyone goes. So it's kind of weird. I like walked into the ER by myself and I said, basically, I'm suicidal. Hi. I wasn't met with any kind of judgment. She was very calm. She sat me down, took my vitals, asked me a couple questions. She asked me if I was in danger of hurting myself right now. I was kind of scared to say yes, and truthfully, I wasn't going to hurt myself that day. And I was feeling like I need to get help right now because I can't live another day in this condition. And I wanted someone to take away my fucking phone and give me medicine and check on me and make sure